Now, in wrapping up the year 27, ladies, I'm curious if there was one thing that you could single out and say, this was the most significant item that I'm leaving 2017 with, or the most significant item, from the year 2017, be it, talking about from an element of impact or whatever the case may be. What would that be for each one of you? What would that one thing be? Most significant item from the year 2017.
Since I spoke about my challenge, a couple of years ago, I came across this quote by Coco Chanel, which is like, a woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. I remembered this quote beginning of this year. And that's how I then found, switch time. I started to pay attention to myself. And my hair has been the most significant change, the most visible.
Oh my! The most shocking
change, Because I think I tend to be very timid and reserved about a lot of things. I tend to hold back a lot. So, knowing me and then seeing me with half a head without hair and color, and I was always so held back. This was that starting point, that turning point in my life to say, I did this, and it was very significant. Ever since then, I decided to make the change so intrinsic that I budget for myself every month. I budget for the hair. I budget for a clothing item or two.
Stuff that you never did.
Stuff that I never used to do before. You know what I mean? I matter to myself that much now. So it was this particular quote, and indeed, my life did change after cut the hair.
Go girl, high five.
For me, it's this little things. It's not this particular one. It's every scapula that I can find, that I can lay my hands on. Khokelo. My grandmother was a tailor. Now I'm a self-taught tailor, but I studied accounts. It's totally different. So I taught myself how to sew. I taught myself how to be Muruki. I was born a designer. That one I didn't. I was born a designer. That's my calling. Yes. So what my grandmother used to do was, everywhere. Go to somewhere everything. So each and every time, you can never catch me, regardless of what I go trouble, without a khokelo. And now it's not just about it, it literally holds my life together. It holds everything that I touch together. And now because I'm a designer, so basically that's how, because it's for me, that person is something happens in them, something happens inside of them. So that's what I give as well.
Whoa.
Yeah, so with me, so it's always a khokelo. I never go anywhere without khokelo.
Whoa, it's a lifesaver for you.
It's a lifesaver for me and the people that are around me.
That's beautiful.
Yes,
Safety pin, mom.
Wow, with me in this picture, it's two of my artists, Bang T and Vizo, and myself in the middle. And we're having a moment of prayer. This picture was taken this year a day after I had my car accident. If you look closely, my face was swollen, and it just reminds me, and it gets me going, because it reminds me of what a prayer can do. I believe that I'm here for a purpose, and my purpose is to build, is to get things to gather together, is to get things to connect together, like Gaunes just said. And I couldn't have done it if it wasn't because of the power of prayer. So in everything that I do, prayer becomes the foundation of everything that I do. And the Bible says if 2 or 3 gather in his name, it is done. So it signifies that because it's got 3 people who have one common goal. And this came after what would have been the lowest part of my life. I would have died in that accident, but God decided that I needed to have another day. God decided that I need to live to celebrate 16 years and share my story that could inspire a girl either in Africa, either in Botswana, or somewhere in the rest of the world. Because in my story I find perseverance. In my story I find a lot of resilience. In my story I find love and peace, of which, without peace, without love, you're just nothing, you're just nobody. So it just keeps me going. The power of a prayer, it does wonders.
Oh yes, that is so true.
What a moment. Who captured this?
This was captured by her son, Tronic Cashfield.
Oh.
He's my cousin, a very great photographer. He
Yes,
does,
champion.
he's very, you know, you've worked with him, you know his touch, you know his work. It's a clean, beautiful picture taken in the CBD at the highest point. It reflects a lot. So it keeps me going. You know, it reminds me how far I've come to reach this far and be in the CBD, to be at that, you know, at the high pinnacle, you know, of my career.
Amen. Whoa. That is lovely. And what is yours too?
Well, for me, I really overthink.
You're an overthinker?
Should I go on? Should I not? Because chasing your dream can be exhausting.
It's tough. It's tough.
Well, for me, it's been 10 years now. I have to keep up the trends, the new trends, how to market myself, adapt certain things, certain lessons, and learn some. So it's been a while, for me. So how long it like it's an you know, getting allowance in a while, but still working and trying to make it. So every morning, this was a present for my sister.
Wow.
Life loves you.
Wow. Okay. The tree, I know, but it's a cliche.
One of prayer.
You
can't So these two, like a baby, and then pick up a card.
Wow.
Every morning.
I create my future today.
Oh yes.
Before social media, before everything.
Wow.
I read and
And it has carried you through.
Because I overthink, I get in my space a lot and hold back. So this.
Wow.
It can get
Yeah, girl, keep it up. I love that. And mine is, I don't know how I forgot it, guys, but it's something called a spirometer. Because in when I remember, on the 6th of June this year, I got admitted into hospital. Walked into hospital for that matter. You know, I wasn't sick. Of course, I've got my condition. I've got endometriosis, and you know, the struggle is your painful periods, and you know, I'd gotten to a point where I was constantly in pain. So I was due for surgery, because this was my 3rd surgery. So I walked into hospital. You know, I got operated on removal of fibroids plus the endometriosis. 2 days later, I got discharged out of the hospital, only to be admitted back the following day because I had complications. Started developing this uncomfortable feeling in my tummy. This went on for about 2 to 3 weeks because I was in hospital the whole of June. You know, they didn't quite figure out what it was until about 2 weeks later. They did a CT scan and they discovered that malagana itopile. So it's something called I think it's a bowel obstruction. So literally my endometriosis is so severe that what happens is that everything gets stuck together. So every time I go for surgery, they need to separate and tangle. And so because of the that the intestines twisted. So what they're feeding me, and I'm drinking water and all of that. Until, I keep saying I've never been pregnant, but I got to experience what having a 9-month pregnancy belly is.
Yeah.
So that was, my stay in hospital. I got to a point where my heart started failing because of because the tummy was so huge. Everything was just squished up in there. My lungs started collapsing. So I was given this thing. I remember, when the doctor gave me that, he's like, this is going to be your best friend because it may save your life. And if you don't use it effectively, you may lose your life. So this was literally a near-death experience. I started using, so what you do, you just blow into it. Because oxygen and all of that, because I couldn't breathe properly. Like short breath because of Onemalan. So that taught me how to breathe again. I never thought in my life. I remember while I was in hospital, I would say to my mother, I can't wait to own my body again because I've lost control of my body. I'd never been in that kind of pain, and to think I just walked into hospital and then suddenly things went downhill, So that saved my life. So I've kept it as a token of appreciation to, first of all, the doctors and all the surgeons who worked on me, but most importantly to God, because He gave me a second chance. I keep saying there's a reason why I'm back here. You know what I mean? Because literally, we could have so easily lost you to this, but here you are, and here I am. Like back, have you forgotten that pain? You know what I mean? So for me, thank So for me, that is an item that I believe I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I'll even show to my grandkids. And this was on my journey to having you, because talking about grandkids means I still have hope that I will have grandkids. You know what I mean? Something that I've struggled with so much. So yes, so for me, that is what it is. I believe there will be a picture to showcase what this item is. It's called a spirometer. So that is the most significant item. I feel, I have renewed faith and hope in life, and what life has to offer, and I've learned to live in the moment because of that one experience. So that is what it is. So guys, I think it's been amazing. The way they we've just been flowing. I think we could go on and on for a whole day. So how about we wrap this up?
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. So
we should each take a little.
Okay, take a little. Have different colors.
The colorful drinks, huh?
Yes, the colorful drinks. Like my hair's gonna be like this, all colors in.
So this is what for 2018?
For 2017, you've been 2017. You've been a year. Yes, you've been time.
Yeah.
Now to the future. Bright.
2018 and
colorful and rainbow.
Let's hope for that. So let's. All right, to 2017, huh? All right. Okay.
Oh, this is nice.
Lovely, yeah. Very lovely. Yeah. Whatever you are, you taste nice. Grape juice. Yeah. And with that, guys, we have come to the end of our session today. On overcoming and achieving. I think our interview really captured that. Challenges, trials and tribulations. But over and above that, most importantly, overcoming them. And striving for even greater heights. The future is incredibly bright for you, my ladies. At this rate, like y'all have done so well. I'm proud of you. You're an inspiration, and and thank you so much for joining me and my viewers on Ghana Live today. Good luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Then, by the way, you've actually got an event coming up sooner.
Yes, my documentary night on the 27th of October. I hope to see all of you in balls and gowns. It's titled Kings Meet Queens. Not Queens, it's, they've got to meet us. They've got to wait for us.
Exactly. We are the prize.
We are the prize.
Thank
so
you.
they must come and meet us at the 27th.
You're such an inspiration.
Thank you so much, my ladies.
You don't know how I was so nervous to come here. Like, even when I wasn't this nervous.
Are you kidding me?
It's so funny. For me, and
amazing.
Tolu gave me my first break. Both of this,
Oh.
she gave me my first break. My first international singing was through her.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's actually
And
a very good
that's the thing. I remember thinking, these for some reason I picked these women individually.
Yeah.
And nobody was but very connected. You know what I mean? Which is beautiful. High five, ladies. I'll high five before we head out. And it's Sarab, guys. Here is to 2017. It's been an amazing year. Here's to 2017. And we're out.